Well, hello and welcome to the Mindful Zone. Today we embark on a journey together, a journey of cultivating patience through the timeless wisdom of Buddhism, meditation, and mindfulness. Whether you're new to these practices or looking to deepen your understanding, this video is designed to guide you gently toward greater peace, resilience, and well-being in your daily life. Take a moment to settle in. Maybe you're sitting comfortably at home, perhaps you found a quiet corner in your day, or maybe you're tuning in during a commute. Wherever you are, I invite you to take a deep breath with me. Inhale slowly, hold it for just a moment, and now exhale fully. Let's do that again. One more deep, calming breath. Beautiful. Now let's talk about what we'll explore together. Patience. It's a word we hear often, but how often do we truly reflect on its meaning? In our fast-paced world, patience can feel like an elusive ideal. We rush from one task to another, juggling responsibilities, expectations, and deadlines. When things don't go as planned, or worse, when they move slower than we'd like, we feel frustration bubbling up. But here's the thing. Patience isn't just about waiting. It's not simply enduring discomfort until something better comes along. True patience runs much deeper than that. In Buddhism, patience, or kshanti, is one of the 6 perfections, the qualities that lead to enlightenment. It's considered a profound virtue because it teaches us how to relate to ourselves, others, and the world around us with grace and equanimity. Think about it. Impatience often stems from resistance. We resist delays, setbacks, and challenges. But what if we could transform that resistance into acceptance? What if every obstacle became an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to connect more deeply with ourselves? This video will guide you step by step through the principles and practices that can help you cultivate patience. We'll draw inspiration from Buddhist teachings, explore the power of meditation, and embrace the transformative potential of mindfulness. Along the way, I'll share stories, insights, and practical techniques that you can apply immediately in your life. These tools aren't reserved for monks meditating on mountaintops. They're accessible to all of us, right here, right now. You might be wondering why patience matters so much. Why dedicate 2 hours of your time to exploring this topic? The answer lies in the ripple effects of patience. When we practice patience, we reduce stress. We improve our relationships with others and with ourselves. We become calmer, kinder, and more resilient. And perhaps most importantly, we create space to breathe, to think, to choose how we respond rather than react impulsively. This space gives us freedom, the freedom to live intentionally, authentically, and joyfully. As we move forward, I want you to know that this is a safe space. There's no pressure to get it right or achieve perfection. This is about progress, not perfection. If you find yourself distracted or restless at any point, that's okay. Simply notice it, acknowledge it, and gently bring your attention back to the present moment. That act alone is a form of mindfulness and a step toward greater patience. So, thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing to invest in yourself and your well-being. Over the next 2 hours, my hope is that you'll leave feeling inspired, equipped, and empowered to bring more patience into your life. Are you ready? Take another deep breath, and let's begin. Chapter 1. What is patience? To understand patience, we must first unpack its essence. At its core, patience is far more than mere endurance or tolerance. It's a quality of mind and heart, a way of being that allows us to navigate life challenges with grace and composure. To truly grasp what patience means, let's delve into its roots, its relevance in today's world, and how it intersects with the teachings of Buddhism, meditation, and mindfulness. Imagine this scenario. You're stuck in traffic, late for an important meeting. The car ahead of you crawls along at a snail's pace, and frustration begins to rise. Your hands tighten on the steering wheel, your jaw clenches, and you feel the urge to honk or mutter under your breath. Now pause. What's really happening here? Traffic is beyond your control, yet your reaction, the impatience, is entirely within your power to manage. This distinction between external circumstances and internal responses is where patience begins. In Buddhism, patience, or kshanti, is revered as one of the 6 perfections, paramitas, which are essential virtues for achieving enlightenment. Unlike the Western notion of patience as passive endurance, kshanti encompasses active engagement with life's difficulties. It involves accepting imperfection in ourselves, in others, and in the world, and responding with compassion rather than irritation. For instance, when someone cuts you off in traffic, instead of reacting with anger, you might choose to see them as human, perhaps rushing to an emergency or simply having a bad day. This shift in perspective transforms impatience into empathy. But patience doesn't stop there. It also means embracing uncertainty and impermanence. One of the central tenets of Buddhism is the idea that everything changes, seasons come and go, emotions ebb and flow, and even seemingly permanent structures eventually crumble. When we cling to outcomes or resist change, we create suffering for ourselves. Patience invites us to let go of attachment and trust the natural rhythm of life. As the Vietnamese Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh once said, "Peace is every step. Each moment of patience brings us closer to inner peace." Now, let's contrast this with modern interpretations of patience. In contemporary society, patience often feels like gritting your teeth while waiting for something better. We endure long lines, delayed flights, and slow internet connections with mounting frustration. Yet true patience asks us to reframe these moments. Instead of viewing them as obstacles, we can see them as opportunities to breathe, to reflect, and to connect with the present moment. Consider the Japanese concept of wabi-sabi, which celebrates imperfection and transience. By adopting this mindset, we learn to appreciate the beauty in life's interruptions and disruptions. Meditation plays a crucial role in cultivating patience. Through regular practice, we train our minds to observe thoughts and emotions without judgment. When impatience arises, a surge of irritation, a wave of restlessness, we can acknowledge it without being consumed by it. Meditation creates a buffer between stimulus and response, giving us the clarity to choose how we act. For example, imagine practicing mindfulness meditation while standing in line at the grocery store. Rather than fidgeting or checking your phone, you focus on your breath, noticing the sensations in your body and the sounds around you. Suddenly, the wait becomes less tedious and more tolerable. Mindfulness complements this process by anchoring us in the present moment. Often impatience stems from dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. We replay old grievances or anticipate upcoming challenges, losing sight of what's happening right now. Mindfulness reminds us to return to the here and now. It encourages us to savor simple pleasures, a warm cup of tea, the rustle of leaves in the wind, and to approach difficulties with curiosity rather than aversion. To illustrate the transformative power of patience, consider the story of Milarepa, a Tibetan yogi and poet who lived in the 11th century. After committing terrible deeds in his youth, Milarepa sought redemption through spiritual practice. His teacher, Marpa, subjected him to years of grueling labor and harsh discipline before granting him formal instruction. Despite the hardships, Milarepa remained patient, trusting that his efforts would eventually bear fruit. His unwavering dedication led to profound enlightenment, and he went on to inspire countless generations with his songs of wisdom. So, what does all this mean for you? How can you integrate patience into your daily life? Start small. Notice moments when impatience arises, whether it's during a slow internet connection, a delayed meal, or disagreement with a loved one. Instead of reacting automatically, pause, take a few deep breaths. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling this way? Then consciously choose a response that aligns with your values, perhaps kindness, understanding, or humor. Remember, patience is a skill, and like any skill, it requires practice. Some days will feel easier than others. There will be times when you succeed in maintaining composure and times when you falter. Both are part of the journey. Celebrate your victories, no matter how small, and treat setbacks as opportunities to learn and grow. Patience also has profound implications for our relationships. Think about the last time you felt impatient with someone, a partner, a friend, or a coworker. Perhaps they were taking too long to explain something, or maybe their actions didn't align with your expectations. In those moments, impatience can breed resentment and conflict. But when we approach others with patience, we open the door to deeper understanding and connection. We give them space to express themselves fully, and in doing so, we strengthen the bonds we share. On a personal level, patience fosters resilience. Life is unpredictable, filled with twists and turns that challenge our sense of control. When we cultivate patience, we develop the ability to weather storms with equanimity. We learn to adapt, to pivot, and to find meaning even in adversity. This resilience not only benefits us, but also inspires those around us to face their own struggles with courage and grace. Consider the ripple effects of patience in your life. When you respond to delays with calmness instead of frustration, you set a positive tone for the rest of your day. When you listen attentively without interrupting, you build trust and rapport. When you embrace imperfection in yourself and others, you create an environment of acceptance and growth. These small acts of patience accumulate over time, shaping your character and enriching your experiences. In the context of mindfulness, patience serves as both a foundation and a result. It takes patience to sit still and observe your thoughts during meditation. It takes patience to notice your breath without trying to change it. And yet, as you continue to practice, patience naturally arises. You begin to see that everything unfolds in its own time and that forcing outcomes only leads to unnecessary struggle. This realization brings a profound sense of peace, allowing you to move through life with greater ease and confidence. As we conclude this exploration of what patience truly means, I invite you to reflect on your own relationship with patience. What triggers impatience in your life? How do you typically respond to those triggers? And most importantly, how might cultivating patience enhance your well-being and enrich your experiences? Keep these questions in mind as we continue our journey together. With each chapter, we'll uncover new layers of patience and discover how they can illuminate your path forward. Chapter 2. Why practice patience? Why bother practicing patience when life feels so fast-paced and demanding? The answer lies in understanding the profound impact that impatience has on our well-being, relationships, and overall quality of life. Impatience is more than just a fleeting emotion. It's a mindset that can shape how we interact with ourselves, others, and the world around us. By cultivating patience, we unlock a deeper sense of peace, resilience, and fulfillment. Let's explore why patience matters so much and how it can transform your life. Impatience often leads to stress, conflict, and burnout. When we rush through tasks, multitask excessively, or demand immediate results, we create unnecessary pressure for ourselves. This pressure manifests as tension in the body, racing thoughts, and emotional exhaustion. Over time, chronic impatience can take a toll on both our physical health and mental clarity. Studies have shown that prolonged stress weakens the immune system, disrupts sleep patterns, and increases the risk of heart disease. By contrast, patience reduces cortisol levels, promotes relaxation, and fosters a sense of calm that supports long-term well-being. But the effects of impatience extend beyond our individual health. They ripple outward into our relationships. Imagine being in a conversation with someone who constantly interrupts, checks their phone, or seems distracted. How does that make you feel? Disrespected? Unimportant? Now imagine engaging with someone who listens attentively, gives you their full presence, and responds thoughtfully. The difference is striking. Patience allows us to connect more deeply with others by creating space for genuine communication and mutual understanding. It helps us navigate disagreements with empathy rather than defensiveness, strengthening bonds instead of fracturing them. In addition to improving interpersonal dynamics, patience enhances our ability to respond skillfully to challenges. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, famously said, "Between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response." Impatience eliminates this space, causing us to react impulsively out of frustration or fear. But patience expands it, giving us the clarity to assess situations objectively and act with intention. For example, consider receiving critical feedback at work. An impatient reaction might involve becoming defensive or dismissive. A patient response, however, would involve listening carefully, asking questions, and using the feedback constructively to grow. Patience also plays a vital role in achieving meaningful goals. Success rarely happens overnight. It requires consistent effort, persistence, and trust in the process. Impatience undermines this trust by making us doubt our progress or abandon projects prematurely. Think about learning a new skill, such as playing an instrument or mastering a language. Initially, progress may seem slow, even discouraging, but with patience we recognize that growth occurs incrementally, often beneath the surface. Each small step contributes to eventual mastery, and patience enables us to stay committed despite setback. From a Buddhist perspective, patience is not only a practical tool but also a spiritual practice. It aligns with the concept of right effort in the Noble Eightfold Path, which encourages us to cultivate wholesome qualities while letting go of unwholesome ones. Practicing patience helps us overcome negative emotions like anger, resentment, and greed, replacing them with compassion, gratitude, and equanimity. These positive states of mind contribute to inner harmony and prepare us for higher levels of awakening. Mindfulness amplifies the benefits of patience by grounding us in the present moment. Often impatience arises when we fixate on future outcomes or dwell on past disappointments. We become so focused on what we want that we lose sight of what we already have. Mindfulness redirects our attention to the here and now, reminding us that every experience, whether pleasant or unpleasant, has value. Even moments of waiting or discomfort can teach us valuable lessons if we approach them with curiosity and openness. Consider the story of a young monk who struggled with impatience during his meditation practice. He grew frustrated when his mind wandered repeatedly, feeling as though he wasn't doing it right. His teacher gently advised him to view each distraction as an opportunity to return to the breath, not as a failure but as a natural part of the process. Over time, the monk learned to embrace these interruptions with patience, realizing that they were integral to his growth. His newfound patience extended beyond meditation, influencing how he approached daily challenges with greater calm and acceptance. So, how does patience translate into tangible benefits in everyday life? Let's look at some examples. In professional settings, patience improves decision-making and leadership skills. Leaders who exercise patience are better equipped to listen to their team members, weigh options carefully, and implement sustainable solutions. They inspire confidence and loyalty because they demonstrate trust in the process and respect for others' contributions. Similarly, employees who practice patience are less likely to succumb to workplace stress or burnout, maintaining focus and productivity over the long term. At home, patience strengthens family bonds and creates a nurturing environment. Parents who model patience teach their children valuable life skills such as self-regulation and problem-solving. Couples who practice patience with one another foster intimacy and mutual support, navigating conflicts with grace rather than hostility. Even mundane household chores like folding laundry or washing dishes can become opportunities to cultivate mindfulness and appreciation for the little things. Patience also enriches creative pursuits. Artists, writers, and innovators know that inspiration doesn't always strike on demand. Sometimes ideas need time to germinate before they bloom. Impatience can stifle creativity by pressuring us to produce results too quickly, while patience allows us to experiment, refine, and discover unexpected possibilities. Many renowned works of art and literature emerge from periods of trial and error, driven by the Creator's willingness to persevere with patience. On a societal level, patience fosters collective progress and cooperation. In a world increasingly dominated by instant gratification and polarized opinions, patience reminds us to slow down and seek common ground. It encourages dialogue over debate, collaboration over competition, and understanding over judgment. Movements for social change, environmental sustainability, and global peace all require patience to sustain momentum and build lasting impact. Moreover, patience teaches us humility. It reminds us that we are not in control of everything and that life unfolds according to its own rhythm. This realization can be liberating, freeing us from the burden of trying to micromanage every detail. Instead, we learn to surrender to the flow of existence, trusting that things will work out as they're meant to, even if the timeline differs from our expectations. Another dimension of patience is its connection to gratitude. When we practice patience, we begin to notice the beauty in ordinary moments, the warmth of sunlight streaming through a window, the laughter of friends sharing a meal, the quiet stillness of a winter morning. Gratitude naturally follows, deepening our appreciation for life's simple pleasures and anchoring us in contentment. Together, patience and gratitude form a virtuous cycle, reinforcing each other and amplifying their positive effects. Finally, patience is a gift we give to ourselves. It affirms our worthiness of care and compassion, reminding us that we deserve to move through life at a pace that honors our needs and values. In a culture that glorifies busyness and achievement, patience offers a counterbalance, a reminder to prioritize presence over productivity, connection over consumption, and authenticity over approval. As we reflect on why patience matters, I invite you to consider how impatience shows up in your own life. What situations trigger it most frequently? How does it affect your thoughts, emotions, and actions? And how might embracing patience shift your perspective and improve your experiences? These reflections will serve as a foundation for the practices and insights we'll explore in the chapters ahead. Chapter 3: The Role of Buddhism in Cultivating Patience. Buddhism offers profound wisdom and practical tools for cultivating patience, making it an invaluable guide for navigating life's challenges with grace and equanimity. Rooted in centuries of philosophical inquiry and spiritual practice, Buddhist teachings provide a framework for understanding the nature of patience, its obstacles, and its transformative potential. By exploring these teachings, we can deepen our appreciation for patience as both a personal virtue and a universal principle. At the heart of Buddhism lies the concept of kshanti, one of the 6 perfections, paramitas, that lead to enlightenment. Kshanti is often translated as patience, but its meaning extends far beyond mere endurance. It encompasses tolerance, forbearance, and the ability to remain calm in the face of adversity. Unlike the Western notion of patience as passive waiting, kshanti invites us to actively engage with difficulties, viewing them as opportunities for growth rather than sources of suffering. This reframing shifts our perspective, allowing us to approach challenges with curiosity and compassion instead of resistance and frustration. One of the most powerful teachings in Buddhism is the idea of impermanence. Everything in life, thoughts, emotions, relationships, circumstances, is transient. Nothing lasts forever, and clinging to permanence only leads to dissatisfaction and pain. When we embrace impermanence, we learn to let go of attachment to outcomes and expectations. This letting go is a cornerstone of patience. For instance, imagine feeling impatient because your plans have been disrupted or delayed. Instead of resisting the situation, you can remind yourself that change is inevitable and that this moment too will pass. By accepting impermanence, you free yourself from unnecessary struggle and open up space for peace. Another key teaching is the interconnectedness of all beings. In Buddhism, this principle is expressed through the concept of dependent origination, which states that nothing exists independently. Everything arises in dependence on causes and conditions. Recognizing our interconnectedness fosters empathy and compassion, 2 qualities essential for cultivating patience. When we see others as reflections of ourselves, as fellow travelers on the path of life, we become more inclined to extend kindness and understanding, even in moments of tension or conflict. This shift in perspective transforms impatience into patience, anger into calm, and division into unity. Buddhist meditation practices are particularly effective for developing patience. Meditation trains the mind to observe thoughts and emotions without judgment, creating a buffer between stimulus and response. This buffer allows us to pause before reacting impulsively, giving us the clarity to choose a patient and thoughtful response instead. For example, during mindfulness meditation, you might notice feelings of irritation or restlessness arising. Rather than suppressing or indulging these emotions, you simply acknowledge them, allowing them to exist without attaching to them. Over time, this practice strengthens your ability to remain centered and composed, even in challenging situations. Loving kindness, our metta meditation, is another powerful tool for cultivating patience. In this practice, you silently repeat phrases such as, "May I be happy, may I be healthy, may I be at peace," extending these wishes first to yourself, then to loved ones, acquaintances, strangers, and eventually all beings. Loving kindness softens the heart, dissolving barriers of resentment and anger that often fuel impatience. As you cultivate goodwill toward yourself and others, you create a foundation of compassion that supports patience in daily life. Imagine responding to a difficult coworker or family member, not with irritation but with genuine care and understanding. This transformation begins with the seeds planted during loving kindness meditation. The stories of Buddhist practitioners throughout history also illustrate the transformative power of patience. Take the example of Milarepa, a Tibetan yogi who endured years of grueling labor under his teacher Marpa before receiving formal instruction. Despite the hardships, Milarepa remained steadfast, trusting that his efforts would lead to enlightenment. His unwavering patience paid off, enabling him to achieve profound realization and inspire countless generations with his songs of wisdom. Similarly, the Buddha himself demonstrated extraordinary patience during his quest for awakening. He persevered through years of ascetic practices, temptations, and doubts, ultimately attaining enlightenment beneath the Bodhi tree. These stories remind us that patience is not just a passive virtue, but an active commitment to growth and transformation. Buddhism also teaches us to view difficulties as teachers. Obstacles, setbacks, and frustrations are not random misfortunes but opportunities to develop resilience and wisdom. The Lotus Sutra, one of the most revered texts in Mahayana Buddhism, uses the metaphor of a lotus flower blooming in muddy waters to symbolize spiritual growth amidst adversity. Just as the lotus rises above the muck to reveal its beauty, we too can rise above challenges through patience and perseverance. This perspective reframes difficulties as allies rather than enemies, helping us navigate life's ups and downs with greater ease. Compassion plays a central role in Buddhist teachings on patience. Compassion involves recognizing the suffering of others and wishing for their relief. When we practice compassion, we naturally become more patient because we understand that everyone is doing the best they can given their circumstances. Someone cutting you off in traffic, for instance, may be rushing to an emergency or dealing with personal struggles. Seeing them through the lens of compassion softens our reaction, replacing irritation with empathy. The shift not only benefits others but also enhances our own well-being by reducing stress and fostering connection. Mindfulness, a core component of Buddhist practice, complements patience by anchoring us in the present moment. Often impatience arises when we dwell on the past or worry about the future. We replay old grievances or anticipate upcoming challenges, losing sight of what's happening right now. Mindfulness brings us back to the here and now, encouraging us to savor simple pleasures, a warm cup of tea, the sound of birdsong, and to approach difficulties with curiosity rather than aversion. By staying grounded in the present, we cultivate a sense of calm that supports patience. The Buddhist emphasis on non-attachment further reinforces patience. Non-attachment does not mean indifference or withdrawal. Rather, it means letting go of rigid expectations and embracing life as it unfolds. When we cling to specific outcomes or timelines, we set ourselves up for disappointment and frustration. Non-attachment frees us from this cycle, allowing us to flow with life's rhythms instead of resisting them. This freedom is a form of patience, one that accepts uncertainty and trusts in the unfolding of events. Buddhism also highlights the importance of self-patience. Many people are quick to criticize themselves for perceived flaws or failures, creating a cycle of negativity that undermines confidence and resilience. Buddhist teachings encourage us to treat ourselves with the same kindness and compassion we offer others. Self-patience involves acknowledging our humanity, embracing imperfection, and celebrating progress, no matter how small. It reminds us that growth takes time and that every step forward is worthy of recognition. Patience practiced through a Buddhist lens has ripple effects that extend beyond individual well-being. As we cultivate patience within ourselves, we contribute to a culture of compassion and understanding in the world around us. Our interactions become more harmonious, our relationships more authentic, and our communities more resilient. In a society often driven by instant gratification and competition, patience serves as a counterbalance, a reminder to slow down, listen deeply, and honor the interconnectedness of all beings. Finally, Buddhism teaches that patience is not a solitary endeavor but a shared journey. By practicing patience, we inspire others to do the same, creating a positive feedback loop that amplifies its benefits. Whether in families, workplaces, or broader social contexts, patience fosters collaboration, reduces conflict, and promotes collective flourishing. It reminds us that we are all part of something greater, a web of interdependence where each action affects the whole. As we conclude this exploration of Buddhism's role in cultivating patience, I invite you to reflect on how these teachings resonate with your own experiences. How might embracing impermanence, interconnectedness, and compassion deepen your practice of patience? What insights can you draw from the stories of Milarepa, the Buddha, and other practitioners? And how can you integrate mindfulness, loving kindness, and non-attachment into your daily life to support your journey toward greater patience? These reflections will serve as stepping stones as we continue to uncover the layers of patience together. Chapter 4. Mindfulness as a foundation for patience. Mindfulness serves as the bedrock upon which patience is built, a powerful and transformative practice that anchors us in the present moment, allowing us to respond to life with clarity, calm, and compassion. By cultivating mindfulness, we develop the ability to observe our thoughts, emotions, and sensations without judgment, creating a space between stimulus and response where patience can flourish. This chapter delves deeply into how mindfulness supports patience, exploring its principles, techniques, and applications in daily life. At its core, mindfulness is about paying attention, intentionally and non-judgmentally, to the present moment. It's about noticing what's happening right now, both within us and around us, without getting caught up in reactivity or distraction. When impatience arises, an urge to rush, a surge of frustration, or a desire for immediate resolution, mindfulness helps us pause and examine these feelings with curiosity rather than resistance. Instead of being swept away by impatience, we learn to observe it, understand it, and ultimately transform it into patience. One of the most fundamental aspects of mindfulness is awareness of the breath. The breath is always with us, a constant anchor to the present moment. When we feel impatient, our breathing often becomes shallow or erratic, reflecting the tension in our bodies and minds. By bringing attention back to the breath, we can restore balance and calm. For example, imagine you're stuck in a long line at the grocery store, growing increasingly irritated with each passing second. Instead of giving in to frustration, you might take a few deep, intentional breaths, inhaling slowly through the nose, holding for a moment, and exhaling fully through the mouth. As you focus on the rhythm of your breath, you begin to notice the tightness in your chest loosening, the racing thoughts slowing down. In this way, mindfulness transforms impatience into presence. But mindfulness isn't just about the breath, it's also about tuning into the body. Often impatience manifests physically as clenched fists, a furrowed brow, or restless tapping of the foot. These bodily cues are signals that something is amiss, inviting us to investigate further. Through practices like body scans or mindful movement, we can bring awareness to these sensations, acknowledging them without judgment. For instance, during a yoga session, you might notice tension building in your shoulders as you hold a challenging pose. Rather than pushing through the discomfort or giving up altogether, you breathe into it, observing how the sensation shifts and changes over time. This embodied awareness fosters patience, teaching us to sit with discomfort rather than flee from it. Mindfulness also illuminates the patterns of thought and emotion that underlie impatience. When we slow down and observe our inner landscape, we begin to see how certain triggers, such as delays, interruptions, or unmet expectations, spark automatic reactions. A traffic jam, for example, might activate thoughts like, "This is wasting my time," or "Why does this always happen to me?" These thoughts fuel frustration, escalating impatience. Through mindfulness, however, we can step back and question these narratives. Are they true? Are they helpful? By reframing our perspective, we create space for patience to emerge. Perhaps the delay isn't a waste of time, but an opportunity to listen to music, reflect on the day, or simply rest. Another key component of mindfulness is acceptance, the willingness to embrace reality as it is, rather than resisting or trying to control it. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation, it means recognizing what's within our power to change and what's beyond it. When we accept that some things are outside our control, like weather conditions, other people's behavior, or the pace of progress, we reduce unnecessary suffering. Impatience thrives on resistance, but acceptance starves it. For example, if a flight is delayed, instead of railing against the situation, you might choose to use the extra time to read a book, journal, or simply sit quietly. Accepting the delay doesn't make it disappear, but it does allow you to respond with greater equanimity. The practice of mindfulness extends beyond formal meditation into everyday activities. Whether you're eating, walking, washing dishes, or brushing your teeth, you can bring mindful awareness to the task at hand. This approach not only enhances your experience of the activity, but also cultivates patience. Consider mindful eating, for instance. Instead of rushing through meals while scrolling on your phone or multitasking, you savor each bite, noticing the flavors, textures, and aromas. You chew slowly, appreciating the nourishment the food provides. This deliberate attentiveness slows you down, fostering a sense of gratitude and contentment. Over time, these small acts of mindfulness accumulate, reshaping your relationship with time and urgency. In relationships, mindfulness plays a crucial role in cultivating patience. Listening mindfully, giving someone your full, undivided attention, is one of the most profound gifts you can offer. It involves setting aside distractions, suspending judgment, and truly hearing what the other person is saying. When we listen mindfully, we validate their experiences and build trust. Conversely, impatience often manifests as interrupting, finishing sentences, or planning our response while the other person is still speaking. By practicing mindful listening, we break this cycle, creating deeper connections and more harmonious interactions. Mindfulness also strengthens emotional regulation, a critical skill for patience. Emotions are natural and valid, but when left unchecked, they can overwhelm us, leading to impulsive reactions. Mindfulness teaches us to acknowledge our emotions without being consumed by them. For example, if you feel anger rising during a disagreement, mindfulness allows you to pause and ask yourself, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling this way? Is there another way to interpret the situation? This reflective process diffuses the intensity of the emotion, enabling you to respond with wisdom rather than reactivity. The benefits of mindfulness ripple outward into various areas of life. In professional settings, mindfulness enhances focus, creativity, and decision-making, all qualities that support patience. Leaders who practice mindfulness are better equipped to manage stress, resolve conflicts, and inspire their teams. Employees who cultivate mindfulness are less likely to succumb to workplace pressures, maintaining productivity and well-being over the long term. Even mundane tasks like answering emails or attending meetings become opportunities to practice presence and intentionality. For creative endeavors, mindfulness fosters a state of flow, a mental state characterized by complete absorption in the task at hand. Artists, writers, and musicians often describe flow as a sense of timelessness, where hours pass unnoticed and ideas flow effortlessly. Impatience disrupts this flow, causing frustration and self-doubt. But mindfulness restores it, reminding us to trust the process and embrace the journey rather than obsessing over the outcome. Many masterpieces have emerged from periods of patient experimentation and refinement, guided by the creator's willingness to stay present with the work. On a societal level, mindfulness promotes collective well-being by encouraging empathy, collaboration, and sustainability. In a world increasingly driven by speed and consumption, mindfulness offers a counterbalance, a reminder to slow down and prioritize connection over convenience. Movements for social justice, environmental conservation, and global peace all benefit from mindfulness, as they require sustained effort and mutual understanding. Patience, fueled by mindfulness, sustains these efforts, ensuring that progress is meaningful and enduring. Mindfulness also intersects with gratitude, amplifying its effects. When we practice mindfulness, we notice the beauty in ordinary moments, the warmth of sunlight on our skin, the laughter of children playing nearby, the quiet hum of life unfolding around us. Gratitude naturally follows, deepening our appreciation for life's simple pleasures and anchoring us in contentment. Together, mindfulness and gratitude form a virtuous cycle, reinforcing each other and enhancing our capacity for patience. Finally, mindfulness reminds us of our inherent worthiness of care and compassion. It affirms that we deserve to move through life at a pace that honors our needs and values. In a culture that glorifies busyness and achievement, mindfulness offers a sanctuary, a reminder to prioritize presence over productivity, connection over consumption, and authenticity over approval. By embracing mindfulness, we give ourselves permission to slow down, breathe deeply, and trust in the unfolding of life. As we conclude this exploration of mindfulness as a foundation for patience, I invite you to consider how mindfulness shows up in your own life. What activities or situations trigger impatience most frequently? How might bringing mindful awareness to those moments shift your experience? And how can you integrate mindfulness practices such as breathwork, body scans, or mindful listening into your daily routine to support your journey toward greater patience? These reflections will serve as stepping stones as we continue to uncover the layers of patience together. Chapter 5: Practical Techniques for Building Patience. Building patience is not an abstract or passive endeavor. It's a skill that requires deliberate practice and consistent effort. While understanding the philosophy behind patience is essential, it's equally important to have tangible tools and techniques that you can apply in your daily life. This chapter explores practical strategies drawn from Buddhism, meditation, mindfulness, and modern psychology, offering a comprehensive toolkit to help you cultivate patience step by step. One of the simplest yet most effective techniques for building patience is the stop method. Stop, take a breath, observe, and proceed mindfully. Let's break this down. First, when you notice impatience arising, whether it's during a long line at the store, a heated argument, or a frustrating work task, pause. Literally, stop what you're doing. Next, take a deep breath. Inhale slowly through your nose, hold it briefly, and exhale fully through your mouth. This single act of conscious breathing interrupts the cycle of reactivity and creates space for clarity. Then, observe what's happening within you and around you. Notice your thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations without judgment. Are you feeling tense, irritated, rushed? Finally, proceed mindfully. Choose how you want to respond based on this newfound awareness rather than reacting impulsively. The stop method is portable and versatile, making it a powerful ally in moments of stress. Another transformative practice is gratitude journaling. Gratitude opens our hearts and shifts our focus from what's lacking to what's abundant in our lives. When we feel impatient, it's often because we're fixated on unmet expectations or delays. Gratitude helps us reframe these situations by highlighting the positives. Start by dedicating a few minutes each day to write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be monumental. Sometimes the smallest joys, like a warm cup of coffee or a kind word from a friend, carry the greatest significance. Over time, this habit rewires your brain to seek out silver linings, even in challenging circumstances. For example, if you're stuck in traffic, instead of stewing in frustration, you might reflect on the fact that you have a car, a safe place to drive, and the freedom to travel. This shift in perspective fosters patience by reminding us of life's blessings. Mindful listening is another cornerstone of patience, especially in relationships. So often, impatience manifests as interrupting, zoning out, or planning our response while someone else is still speaking. Mindful listening counters this tendency by training us to give others our full attention. To practice mindful listening, set aside distractions like phones or background noise and focus entirely on the speaker. Pay attention not just to their words, but also to their tone, body language, and underlying emotions. Resist the urge to jump in with advice or solutions unless asked. Instead, offer your presence, a gift that communicates respect and understanding. Not only does mindful listening strengthen connections, but it also models patience for others, creating a ripple effect of calm and compassion. Breath-focused meditation is another invaluable technique for cultivating patience. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed, sit comfortably, and close your eyes if you'd like. Begin by focusing on your breath, noticing the sensation of air entering and leaving your nostrils. If your mind wanders, and it will, gently bring your attention back to the breath without judgment. As thoughts arise, label them neutrally, for example, thinking, worrying, and let them pass like clouds drifting across the sky. This practice trains your mind to remain steady amidst distractions, a key component of patience. You can start with just 5 minutes a day and gradually increase the duration as you become more comfortable. Over time, you'll notice that the same steadiness you cultivate during meditation begins to permeate your daily interactions, helping you stay calm under pressure. Visualization exercises are another creative way to build patience. Close your eyes and imagine yourself in a situation that typically triggers impatience. For instance, waiting in a crowded airport or dealing with a difficult colleague. Picture yourself responding with calmness and composure, embodying the qualities of patience you aspire to develop. Visualize the details vividly. How do you look? Do you say? How does the other person react? By rehearsing these scenarios mentally, you prepare yourself to handle them gracefully in real life. Visualization taps into the power of imagination to reinforce positive behaviors, making it easier to access patience when you need it most. Body awareness practices such as yoga or Tai Chi also support patience by fostering a deeper connection between mind and body. These disciplines emphasize slow, deliberate movements paired with mindful breathing, encouraging you to stay present with each posture or gesture. When you encounter resistance, whether it's tightness in your muscles or difficulty holding a pose, you learn to breathe through it rather than avoid it. This ability to tolerate discomfort translates directly into greater patience in everyday life. For example, the next time you're faced with a tedious task or an unexpected delay, you can draw on the same principles of acceptance and perseverance you've honed through yoga or Tai Chi. Affirmations are another tool worth exploring. Positive self-talk can counteract the negative narratives that fuel impatience. Create a list of affirmations tailored to patience, such as, "I trust the timing of my life," "I am calm and centered in every moment," or "Patience brings peace." Repeat these affirmations regularly, either silently or aloud, especially during moments of frustration. Over time, they'll reshape your mindset, reinforcing the belief that patience is not only possible but empowering. Pairing affirmations with visualization amplifies their impact, embedding these messages deeply into your subconscious. Practicing delayed gratification is another powerful exercise for building patience. This concept gained widespread attention through the famous Stanford marshmallow experiment, which demonstrated that children who resisted eating a marshmallow in exchange for 2 later marshmallows tended to achieve greater success in life. While the study focused on children, its implications extend to adults as well. Delayed gratification involves postponing immediate rewards in favor of long-term benefits. For example, instead of binge-watching an entire TV series in one sitting, watch 1 episode per day, or save up for something meaningful rather than indulging in impulse purchases. Each small act of restraint strengthens your capacity for patience, proving that discipline yields dividends over time. Journaling is another practical technique that complements patience-building efforts. Writing allows you to process emotions, reflect on experiences, and identify patterns of impatience. Set aside a few minutes each day to jot down your thoughts about situations where you struggled with patience. What triggered the feeling? How did you respond? What could you do differently next time? Journaling provides valuable insights into your behavior while serving as a record of your progress. It also doubles as a form of self-compassion, giving you permission to acknowledge and work through challenges without harsh criticism. Finally, incorporating rituals into your daily routine can anchor you in patience. Rituals are intentional actions performed with care and attention, whether it's brewing tea in the morning, lighting a candle at night, or taking a mindful walk outdoors. These practices create a sense of rhythm and stability, countering the chaos of modern life. They remind us to slow down and savor the moment, cultivating patience organically. For instance, the simple act of preparing a meal mindfully, chopping vegetables with precision, tasting spices thoughtfully, can transform cooking from a chore into a meditative experience. Over time, these rituals infuse your days with moments of calm, reinforcing the value of patience. As we conclude this exploration of practical techniques for building patience, I invite you to reflect on which strategies resonate most deeply with you. Could you commit to trying the stop method the next time you feel impatient? Would starting a gratitude journal enrich your perspective? How might mindful listening improve your relationships? Remember, patience is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. And while the journey may feel challenging at times, each step forward brings you closer to a life filled with greater peace, resilience, and fulfillment. These tools are yours to use, adapt, and integrate into your unique path toward patience. Chapter 6. Overcoming impatience through meditation. Meditation is one of the most powerful tools for overcoming impatience, offering a sanctuary where we can cultivate calm, clarity, and compassion. By engaging in regular meditation practice, we train our minds to navigate life's challenges with greater equanimity, transforming moments of frustration into opportunities for growth. This chapter delves deeply into how meditation supports patience, exploring its techniques, benefits, and transformative potential in detail. At its core, meditation teaches us to observe our thoughts and emotions without attachment or judgment. When impatience arises, a surge of irritation, a wave of restlessness, we often react automatically, allowing these feelings to dictate our behavior. Meditation disrupts this cycle by creating a buffer between stimulus and response. It gives us the space to pause, reflect, and choose how we act rather than being swept away by reactivity. For example, imagine you're sitting in meditation and notice your mind racing with thoughts about an upcoming deadline. Instead of getting caught up in anxiety or frustration, you simply acknowledge the thoughts. There's worry about the deadline. Then you gently return your focus to your breath or chosen point of concentration. This process of noticing and letting go strengthens your ability to remain patient in real-life situations, whether you're stuck in traffic or navigating a challenging conversation. One of the most foundational meditation practices for cultivating patience is mindfulness meditation. In mindfulness meditation, you anchor your attention on the present moment, often using the breath as a focal point. As you sit quietly, you'll inevitably encounter distractions, thoughts, sounds, bodily sensations that pull your attention away. Each time this happens, you bring your awareness back to the breath. This repetitive cycle of distraction and refocusing builds mental resilience, teaching you to stay centered even when faced with discomfort or uncertainty. Over time, this skill translates into everyday life. When impatience arises, you'll find it easier to step back, observe the feeling, and respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. Loving kindness. Metta meditation is another profoundly effective practice for fostering patience. In loving kindness meditation, you silently repeat phrases such as, "May I be happy, may I be healthy, may I be at peace." Extending these wishes first to yourself, then to loved ones, acquaintances, strangers, and eventually all beings. This practice softens the heart, dissolving barriers of resentment and anger that often fuel impatience. As you cultivate goodwill toward yourself and others, you create a foundation of compassion that supports patience in daily life. Imagine responding to a difficult coworker or family member not with irritation, but with genuine care and understanding. This transformation begins with the seeds planted during loving kindness meditation. The more consistently you practice, the more natural it becomes to approach challenges with empathy and grace. Body scan meditation offers yet another pathway to patience by deepening your connection to physical sensations. During a body scan, you systematically bring awareness to different parts of your body, starting from the toes and moving upward to the crown of your head. You notice areas of tension, relaxation, warmth, or coolness without trying to change anything. This heightened awareness helps you recognize how impatience manifests physically, perhaps as a tight jaw, clenched fists, or a racing heartbeat. Once you identify these signs, you can address them directly using techniques like deep breathing or progressive muscle relaxation to release tension. Body scan meditation also cultivates acceptance, reminding you that discomfort is temporary and manageable. This mindset shift is crucial for developing patience, as it encourages you to embrace challenges rather than resist them. Walking meditation provides a unique opportunity to combine mindfulness with movement, making it an excellent practice for those who struggle with sitting still. In walking meditation, you move slowly and deliberately, paying close attention to each step. Notice the sensation of your feet touching the ground, the rhythm of your stride, and the flow of your breath. If your mind wanders, gently bring your attention back to the act of walking. Walking meditation anchors you in the present moment, grounding you in the here and now. It's particularly useful for overcoming impatience because it teaches you to appreciate the journey rather than fixate on the destination. Whether you're pacing in anticipation or rushing to complete a task, walking meditation reminds you to slow down and savor each step along the way. Visualization. Meditation leverages the power of imagination to reinforce patience. Close your eyes and picture yourself in a situation that typically triggers impatience. For instance, waiting in a crowded airport or dealing with a difficult colleague. Imagine yourself responding with calmness and composure, embodying the qualities of patience you aspire to develop. Visualize the details vividly. How do you look? What do you say? How does the other person react? By rehearsing these scenarios mentally, you prepare yourself to handle them gracefully in real life. Visualization taps into the brain's capacity to simulate experiences, reinforcing positive behaviors and attitudes. Over time, this practice makes it easier to access patience when you need it most. Mantra. Meditation involves repeating a word, phrase, or sound to focus the mind and cultivate specific qualities. For patience, you might choose a mantra like, "I am calm and steady," or "Patience brings peace." Silently repeat the mantra during your meditation session, allowing it to anchor your attention and infuse your consciousness with its meaning. Mantras serve as reminders of your intentions, helping you align with the values you wish to embody. They also provide a sense of stability, especially during turbulent times. When impatience threatens to overwhelm you, recalling your mantra can restore balance and perspective, guiding you back to a state of calm. Breathwork exercises are another invaluable component of meditation for building patience. Techniques like diaphragmatic breathing, alternate nostril breathing, or box breathing activate the parasympathetic nervous system, promoting relaxation and reducing stress. To practice box breathing, inhale slowly for a count of 4, hold your breath for 4 counts, exhale for 4 counts, and hold again for 4 counts before repeating. This rhythmic pattern calms the mind and body, creating a sense of inner stillness. Breathwork is especially helpful in high-pressure situations, such as public speaking or conflict resolution, where maintaining composure is essential. By incorporating breathwork into your meditation routine, you will equip yourself with a reliable tool for managing impatience whenever it arises. Meditation also fosters self-awareness, a critical ingredient for patience. Through consistent practice, you become more attuned to your triggers, the circumstances, people, or events that provoke impatience. You begin to notice patterns in your behavior, such as snapping at loved ones when stressed, or losing focus during tedious tasks. This heightened awareness empowers you to intervene proactively, addressing the root causes of impatience before they escalate. For example, if you know that hunger tends to make you irritable, you can prioritize eating regular meals to prevent mood swings. Similarly, if certain environments drain your energy, you can adjust your schedule to minimize exposure. Self-awareness transforms impatience from an unconscious reaction into a conscious choice, giving you greater control over your responses. Another benefit of meditation is its ability to cultivate perspective. Often impatience stems from a narrow view of the situation, focusing solely on immediate frustrations while ignoring the bigger picture. Meditation broadens your outlook by encouraging you to step back and see things from a wider angle. For instance, during a guided meditation, you might visualize your problems as clouds drifting across the sky, recognizing their impermanence and insignificance in the grand scheme of things. This expanded perspective reduces the intensity of impatience, helping you approach challenges with greater wisdom and detachment. Perspective also fosters gratitude, reminding you to appreciate what's going well in your life despite temporary setbacks. Meditation enhances emotional regulation, enabling you to manage difficult feelings like anger, frustration, and anxiety more effectively. Emotions are natural and valid, but when left unchecked, they can dominate your thoughts and actions, leading to impulsive reactions. Meditation teaches you to acknowledge your emotions without being consumed by them. For example, if you feel anger rising during a disagreement, meditation allows you to pause and ask yourself, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling this way? Is there another way to interpret the situation? This reflective process diffuses the intensity of the emotion, enabling you to respond with wisdom rather than reactivity. Emotional regulation is a cornerstone of patience, as it prevents impatience from spiraling into conflict or regret. The benefits of meditation ripple outward into various areas of life. In professional settings, meditation improves focus, creativity, and decision-making, all qualities that support patience. Leaders who meditate regularly are better equipped to manage stress, resolve conflicts, and inspire their teams. Employees who incorporate meditation into their routines report higher job satisfaction and lower burnout rates, thanks to increased resilience and adaptability. Even mundane tasks like answering emails or attending meetings become opportunities to practice presence and intentionality. Meditation transforms work from a source of stress into a platform for personal growth and fulfillment. For creative endeavors, meditation fosters a state of flow, a mental state characterized by complete absorption in the task at hand. Artists, writers, and musicians often describe flow as a sense of timelessness, where hours pass unnoticed and ideas flow effortlessly. Impatience disrupts this flow, causing frustration and self-doubt. But meditation restores it, reminding us to trust the process and embrace the journey rather than obsessing over the outcome. Many masterpieces have emerged from periods of patient experimentation and refinement, guided by the creator's willingness to stay present with the work. Meditation provides the clarity and stamina needed to sustain creativity over the long term. On a societal level, meditation promotes collective well-being by encouraging empathy, collaboration, and sustainability. In a world increasingly driven by speed and consumption, meditation offers a counterbalance, a reminder to slow down and prioritize connection over convenience. Movements for social justice, environmental conservation, and global peace all benefit from meditation as they require sustained effort and mutual understanding. Patience, fueled by meditation, sustains these efforts, ensuring that progress is meaningful and enduring. Meditation also models nonviolence and compassion, inspiring others to adopt similar values. Finally, meditation reminds us of our inherent worthiness of care and compassion. It affirms that we deserve to move through life at a pace that honors our needs and values. In a culture that glorifies busyness and achievement, meditation offers a sanctuary, a reminder to prioritize presence over productivity, connection over consumption, and authenticity over approval. By embracing meditation, we give ourselves permission to slow down, breathe deeply, and trust in the unfolding of life. As we conclude this exploration of overcoming impatience through meditation, I invite you to reflect on how meditation shows up in your own life. Have you tried any of the techniques mentioned here? Mindfulness meditation, loving-kindness meditation, body scan meditation, or breath work? How might incorporating these practices into your daily routine support your journey toward greater patience? And how can you use meditation to address specific triggers or challenges that test your patience? These reflections will serve as stepping stones as we continue to uncover the layers of patience together. Chapter 7. Stories of Transformation Through Patience. Stories have the power to inspire, teach, and transform us. They connect us to universal truths and remind us that we are not alone in our struggles. Throughout history, countless individuals have demonstrated the profound impact of patience in their lives, showing us that even the most daunting challenges can be overcome with perseverance, compassion, and trust in the process. In this chapter, we'll explore stories of transformation through patience, both ancient and modern, that illuminate its transformative potential and offer practical lessons for our own journeys. One of the most enduring tales of patience comes from Buddhist tradition, the story of Milarepa, a Tibetan yogi whose life embodies the power of unwavering dedication. Born into a wealthy family, Milarepa's early years were marked by tragedy and retribution. After his father's death, his greedy relatives seized the family's fortune, leaving him and his mother destitute. Consumed by anger, Milarepa sought revenge, using black magic to destroy those who had wronged them. However, the weight of his actions soon overwhelmed him, and he turned to spirituality in search of redemption. Under the guidance of his teacher Marpa, Milarepa endured years of grueling labor and harsh discipline before receiving formal instruction. Despite the hardships, he remained patient, trusting that his efforts would eventually bear fruit. His steadfast commitment led to profound enlightenment, and he went on to inspire generations with his songs of wisdom. Milarepa's story teaches us that true transformation requires patience, not just with external circumstances, but also with ourselves as we work to heal and grow. Another powerful example is the life of Mahatma Gandhi, whose philosophy of non-violent resistance, ahimsa, was deeply rooted in patience. Gandhi faced immense opposition during India's struggle for independence, yet he never wavered in his belief that peaceful persistence could dismantle centuries of colonial rule. He understood that change takes time and that impatience often leads to violence and division. Instead of reacting to injustice with anger or aggression, Gandhi responded with calm determination, organizing marches, fasts, and acts of civil disobedience that highlighted the moral contradictions of oppression. His patience inspired millions to join the movement, ultimately leading to India's liberation. Gandhi's legacy reminds us that patience is not passive, it's an active force capable of reshaping societies and creating lasting peace. In more recent times, the story of Nelson Mandela offers another testament to the power of patience. Imprisoned for 27 years for his role in opposing apartheid, Mandela could have succumbed to bitterness and despair, but instead he chose patience and forgiveness, recognizing that vengeance would only perpetuate the cycle of hatred. During his imprisonment, Mandela meditated, studied, and reflected deeply on humanity's capacity for compassion. When he was finally released, he emerged not as a vengeful figure but as a unifying leader who championed reconciliation and equality. His patience paved the way for South Africa's transition to democracy, earning him global admiration and respect. Mandela's story underscores the importance of patience in healing wounds and bridging divides, whether personal or societal. Closer to home, consider the story of J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Before achieving worldwide fame, Rowling faced numerous rejections from publishers who dismissed her manuscript as unpromising. At the time, she was a single mother living on welfare, struggling to make ends meet while pursuing her dream of becoming a writer. Rather than giving up, she patiently refined her work, submitting it to one publisher after another until Bloomsbury finally accepted it. Her perseverance paid off, and today, Harry Potter is one of the best-selling book series in history. Rowling's journey illustrates how patience enables us to stay committed to our goals, even when progress seems slow or uncertain. Patience also plays a pivotal role in scientific discovery, where breakthroughs often require years or even decades of painstaking research. Marie Curie's groundbreaking work on radioactivity is a case in point. As one of the first women to enter the male-dominated field of science, Curie faced significant obstacles, including limited resources and widespread skepticism about her abilities. Yet she remained undeterred, conducting experiments in a makeshift laboratory with unwavering focus. Her patience and diligence culminated in the discovery of radium and polonium, earning her 2 Nobel Prizes and revolutionizing our understanding of atomic energy. Curie's story highlights the importance of patience in overcoming adversity and achieving excellence, particularly in fields that demand rigorous attention to detail. On a more intimate scale, everyday acts of patience can lead to remarkable transformations within families and communities. Take the example of a parent raising a child with special needs. Caring for a child with developmental challenges requires immense patience, as milestones may take longer to achieve and setbacks are inevitable. One such parent, Sarah, shared her experience of raising her son, Ethan, who has autism. Initially overwhelmed by the diagnosis, Sarah struggled to balance her expectations with reality. Over time, however, she learned to celebrate small victories, a new word spoken, a step taken, and to embrace the unpredictability of Ethan's journey. Her patience not only strengthened their bond, but also helped Ethan thrive beyond what doctors had predicted. Stories like Sarah's remind us that patience is often the key to unlocking hidden potential, both in others and in ourselves. Even in nature, patience reveals its beauty and resilience. Consider the growth of a tree which begins as a tiny seed buried beneath the soil. It may take years or even decades for the tree to mature, weathering storms, droughts, and changing seasons along the way. Yet with each passing year, it grows stronger, its roots digging deeper and its branches reaching higher. The oak tree doesn't rush to become what it is destined to be, it trusts in the natural rhythm of growth. This metaphor serves as a poignant reminder that patience allows us to flourish in our own time without comparing ourselves to others or succumbing to external pressures. In literature, the theme of patience appears repeatedly, offering timeless wisdom for navigating life's trials. Victor Hugo's novel Les Miserables features Jean Valjean, a former convict who transforms his life through patience and redemption. After serving 19 years in prison for stealing bread, Valjean emerges embittered and distrustful of society. However, an act of kindness from Bishop Myriel inspires him to change his ways. Over the course of the novel, Valjean demonstrates extraordinary patience as he rebuilds his life, protects those he loves, and seeks justice in a world rife with inequality. His journey reflects the idea that patience is not merely about waiting, but about actively working toward a better future, even in the face of adversity. Modern psychology also provides compelling evidence of patience's transformative effects. Research shows that individuals who practice delayed gratification, the ability to postpone immediate rewards for long-term benefits, tend to achieve greater success and satisfaction in life. The famous Stanford marshmallow experiment demonstrated this principle, revealing that children who resisted eating a marshmallow in exchange for 2 later marshmallows exhibited higher levels of self-discipline and achievement as adults. While the study focused on children, its implications extend to all stages of life. By cultivating patience, we strengthen our capacity for resilience, enabling us to navigate setbacks and pursue meaningful goals with determination. The arts, too, offer rich examples of patience's transformative power. Vincent van Gogh, one of history's most celebrated painters, produced over 2,000 artworks during his lifetime, yet he sold only 1 painting before his death. Despite widespread rejection and financial hardship, Van Gogh continued to paint with relentless passion, pouring his emotions onto canvas in bold colors and expressive brushstrokes. Today, his works are considered masterpieces valued in the hundreds of millions. Van Gogh's story teaches us that patience is essential for creative expression, allowing artists to hone their craft and share their vision with the world regardless of initial recognition. Patience also manifests in the realm of sports, where athletes must endure rigorous training and setbacks to reach peak performance. Serena Williams, widely regarded as one of the greatest tennis players of all time, has spoken openly about the patience required to recover from injuries and return to competition. After giving birth to her daughter, Williams faced life-threatening complications and a lengthy rehabilitation process. Many doubted whether she could regain her dominance on the court, but she approached her recovery with patience and grit, gradually rebuilding her strength and confidence. Her comeback victories serve as a testament to the power of patience in overcoming physical and mental challenges. These stories collectively illustrate that patience is not a passive virtue, but an active choice, one that demands courage, faith, and resilience. Whether we're striving for personal growth, professional success, or societal change, patience equips us to navigate difficulties with grace and determination. It reminds us that every challenge is an opportunity to learn, every delay is a chance to reflect, and every setback is a stepping stone towards something greater. As we conclude this exploration of stories of transformation through patience, I invite you to reflect on the narratives that resonate most deeply with you. Which story inspires you to persevere in the face of adversity? How might adopting a patient mindset shift your perspective on current challenges? And how can you draw strength from these examples as you continue your own journey towards greater patience? These reflections will serve as guideposts, helping you cultivate patience in your daily life and embrace the transformative possibilities it holds. Chapter 8. Applying patience in daily life. Patience is not an abstract ideal reserved for philosophers, monks, or extraordinary individuals. It's a practical skill that can be woven into the fabric of our everyday lives. While cultivating patience requires intention and practice, its application extends far beyond meditation cushions or quiet retreats. In this chapter, we'll explore how to apply patience in diverse aspects of daily life, from mundane tasks to challenging relationships, offering concrete strategies and insights to help you integrate this transformative quality into every moment. One of the simplest yet most impactful ways to apply patience is during moments of waiting. Waiting often triggers impatience because it disrupts our sense of control and efficiency. Whether you're stuck in traffic, standing in line at the grocery store, or enduring a delayed flight, waiting can feel like wasted time. However, reframing these moments as opportunities rather than obstacles transforms the experience entirely. For instance, instead of checking your phone or stewing in frustration, use the time to practice mindfulness. Focus on your breath, notice the sounds around you, or observe the people nearby with curiosity and compassion. You might even reflect on something you're grateful for, shifting your mindset from irritation to appreciation. Over time, these small acts of patience accumulate, making waiting less burdensome and more meaningful. In professional settings, patience plays a crucial role in fostering collaboration, creativity, and leadership. Impatience in the workplace often manifests as micromanaging, interrupting or rushing through projects without attention to detail. By contrast, practicing patience enhances productivity and morale. Leaders who exercise patience are better equipped to listen to their team members, weigh options carefully, and implement sustainable solutions. They inspire confidence and loyalty because they demonstrate trust in the process and respect for others' contributions. Similarly, employees who practice patience are less likely to succumb to workplace stress or burnout, maintaining focus and resilience over the long term. Even routine tasks such as answering emails or attending meetings become opportunities to cultivate presence and intentionality when approached with patience. Mindful communication is another area where patience profoundly impacts our interactions. So often, impatience manifests as interrupting, finishing sentences, or planning our response while someone else is still speaking. These habits undermine connection and understanding, creating barriers rather than bridges. Mindful listening counters this tendency by training us to give others our full attention. To practice mindful listening, set aside distractions like phones or background noise and focus entirely on the speaker. Pay attention not just to their words, but also to their tone, body language, and underlying emotions. Resist the urge to jump in with advice or solutions unless asked. Instead, offer your presence, a gift that communicates respect and validation. When we listen mindfully, we validate others' experiences and build trust, strengthening both personal and professional relationships. Parenting offers a rich arena for applying patience, as raising children inevitably involves navigating challenges, uncertainties, and emotional highs and lows. Parents who practice patience create a nurturing environment where children feel safe to express themselves and explore the world. For example, imagine helping a child learn to tie their shoes. The process may take longer than expected, with repeated attempts and occasional frustration. A patient parent would encourage the child, celebrating small successes and modeling perseverance. This approach not only teaches valuable life skills, but also fosters self-confidence and resilience. Patience in parenting extends beyond teaching practical tasks. It's about embracing imperfection, managing expectations, and responding with empathy rather than reactivity. These qualities lay the foundation for lifelong bonds built on mutual respect and understanding. Patience also enriches creative pursuits, whether you're writing, painting, playing music, or engaging in any form of artistic expression. Creativity thrives on experimentation, iteration, and discovery, all processes that require time and patience. Impatience often leads to frustration, causing us to abandon projects prematurely or settle for subpar results. But patience allows us to embrace the messiness of creation, trusting that progress unfolds gradually. Consider the journey of learning a musical instrument. Initially, mastering basic techniques may feel tedious and unrewarding, yet with consistent practice and patience, those initial struggles give way to fluency and joy. The same principle applies to other forms of creativity. Patience enables us to stay committed to our vision, refining our work until it aligns with our aspirations. In relationships, patience serves as a cornerstone of harmony and growth. Disagreements, misunderstandings, and conflicts are inevitable in any partnership, whether romantic, familial, or platonic. How we respond to these challenges determines the strength and longevity of the relationship. Impatience often escalates tensions, fueling arguments and eroding trust. By contrast, patience creates space for dialogue, reflection, and resolution. For example, if a partner expresses frustration or criticism, responding with defensiveness or anger only deepens the divide. A patient response, however, involves listening attentively, acknowledging their feelings, and seeking common ground. This approach diffuses conflict and reinforces the bond between individuals, reminding them that they are allies rather than adversaries. Household chores, though seemingly mundane, provide another opportunity to practice patience. Tasks like washing dishes, folding laundry, or cleaning the house can easily become sources of irritation if approached with a mindset of obligation or drudgery. However, reframing these activities as acts of care and contribution transforms their significance. For instance, washing dishes becomes an opportunity to appreciate the nourishment provided by meals. Folding laundry becomes a chance to reflect on the comfort of clothing, and cleaning becomes a way to honor your living space. By infusing these tasks with mindfulness and gratitude, you cultivate patience while simultaneously enhancing your sense of well-being. Patience is equally vital in navigating health challenges, whether physical, mental, or emotional. Healing often takes longer than anticipated, requiring ongoing effort and adjustment. Impatience can exacerbate suffering by creating unrealistic expectations or discouraging adherence to treatment plans. By contrast, patience empowers us to embrace the healing process with compassion and determination. For example, recovering from surgery or managing a chronic condition involves setbacks and fluctuations. Practicing patience means acknowledging the body's natural rhythms, trusting medical professionals, and celebrating incremental improvements. It also involves extending kindness to yourself during difficult times, recognizing that healing is not linear but cyclical. Technology, despite its conveniences, often tests our patience due to glitches, slow connections, or unresponsive devices. Rather than allowing these frustrations to escalate, we can use them as reminders to pause and recalibrate. For instance, if your internet connection lags during an important video call, resist the urge to vent or panic. Instead, take a few deep breaths, acknowledge the temporary nature of the issue, and consider alternative solutions. This mindful response reduces stress and prevents unnecessary escalation, demonstrating how patience can transform even minor inconveniences into opportunities for growth. Travel, whether commuting to work or embarking on a vacation, provides ample opportunities to practice patience. Delays, cancellations, and unexpected changes are par for the course, especially in today's fast-paced world. Instead of reacting with frustration, view these disruptions as invitations to adapt and find joy in the unexpected. For example, if your train is delayed, use the extra time to read a book, journal, or simply observe the world around you. If your flight is cancelled, explore alternative routes or enjoy the serendipity of unplanned adventures. By approaching travel with patience, you transform potential irritations into enriching experiences. Even moments of solitude offer fertile ground for cultivating patience. In a culture that glorifies busyness and constant stimulation, carving out time for quiet reflection can feel uncomfortable or unproductive. Yet solitude provides invaluable opportunities to connect with ourselves, free from external demands. During these moments, impatience may arise as restlessness or boredom. Instead of resisting these feelings, lean into them with curiosity and openness. Notice what arises, thoughts, emotions, sensations, and allow them to pass without judgment. Over time, this practice strengthens your capacity for patience, enabling you to sit comfortably with uncertainty and discomfort. Patience also intersects with environmental stewardship, reminding us to adopt sustainable practices that prioritize long-term benefits over short-term convenience. Climate change, pollution, and resource depletion are complex issues that require collective action and sustained commitment. Impatience often leads to quick fixes or superficial solutions that fail to address root causes. By contrast, patience encourages us to invest in renewable energy, reduce waste, and protect ecosystems, knowing that meaningful change takes time. Individual actions such as planting trees, conserving water, or supporting eco-friendly businesses contribute to a larger movement towards sustainability. Patience reminds us that every effort matters, no matter how small, and that persistence yields lasting impact. Finally, patience supports spiritual growth, regardless of religious or philosophical beliefs. Many spiritual traditions emphasize the importance of surrendering control and trusting in a higher power. universal order, or natural flow. Impatience disrupts this surrender by demanding immediate answers or outcomes. By contrast, patience invites us to embrace mystery and uncertainty, recognizing that wisdom and insight unfold in their own time. Meditation, prayer, journaling, and contemplative practices deepen this connection, allowing us to access inner peace and clarity. Spirituality grounded in patience fosters humility, gratitude, and interconnectedness, enriching our lives and relationships. As we conclude this exploration of applying patience in daily life, I invite you to reflect on how these principles resonate with your own experiences. Which areas of your life present the greatest opportunities for practicing patience? How might reframing challenges as opportunities shift your perspective and improve your interactions? And how can you integrate mindfulness, gratitude, and compassion into your daily routine to support your journey towards greater patience? These reflections will serve as guideposts, helping you weave patience into the tapestry of your life and embrace its transformative possibilities. Chapter 9: Common Challenges and How to Overcome Them. Despite our best intentions, cultivating patience is rarely a smooth or linear journey. Along the way, we encounter obstacles, both internal and external, that test our resolve and challenge our progress. These challenges are not failures, but opportunities for growth, offering valuable lessons about ourselves and the nature of patience. In this chapter, we'll explore some of the most common hurdles people face when trying to cultivate patience and provide practical strategies for overcoming them. One of the most pervasive challenges is impatience with ourselves. Many of us hold unrealistic expectations about how quickly we should master new skills, achieve goals, or overcome personal struggles. When progress feels slow or setbacks occur, self-criticism often follows, creating a cycle of frustration and discouragement. For example, imagine someone learning to meditate for the first time. They might expect immediate results, calmness, clarity, and enlightenment, but instead find their mind racing with thoughts or struggling to focus. This gap between expectation and reality can trigger impatience, leading them to abandon the practice altogether. To overcome this challenge, it's essential to adopt a mindset of self-compassion. Remind yourself that growth takes time, and that every step forward, no matter how small, is worthy of celebration. Treat yourself with the same kindness you would offer a friend facing similar difficulties. Instead of criticizing your perceived shortcomings, acknowledge your efforts and trust in the process. Another common obstacle is impatience with others. Relationships, whether familial, romantic, professional, or platonic, are fertile ground for testing our patience. Misunderstandings, differing communication styles, and unmet expectations can all spark irritation and conflict. For instance, a partner who leaves dishes unwashed or a co-worker who misses deadlines may provoke feelings of frustration. The key to overcoming this challenge lies in shifting your perspective. Rather than viewing others' actions as deliberate attempts to upset you, try to see them through a lens of empathy. Ask yourself, what might be going on in their life that explains their behavior? Are they dealing with stress, fatigue, or personal struggles? By adopting this compassionate outlook, you create space for understanding and patience to flourish. Additionally, practicing mindful listening and non-reactivity can help diffuse tensions before they escalate into arguments. External circumstances beyond our control also frequently test our patience. Delays, disruptions, and unforeseen changes are inevitable parts of life, yet they often provoke strong emotional reactions. A delayed flight, a cancelled event, or a malfunctioning appliance can easily derail our plans and trigger impatience. The antidote to this challenge is acceptance, the recognition that not everything operates according to our timetable or preferences. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation, it means acknowledging reality without resistance and finding constructive ways to adapt. For example, if your commute is unexpectedly prolonged due to roadwork, and instead of succumbing to frustration, use the extra time to listen to an audiobook, call a loved one, or simply observe your surroundings. This shift in attitude transforms inconvenience into opportunity, reinforcing your capacity for patience. Distractions and multitasking pose another significant barrier to patience. In today's hyper-connected world, constant notifications, social media updates, and competing demands fragment our attention, making it difficult to stay present. Impatience thrives in environments where we're perpetually rushing from one task to another without fully engaging in any of them. To address this challenge, prioritize mindfulness and intentional focus. Set boundaries around technology use, such as designating specific times to check emails or turning off unnecessary notifications. Practice single-tasking by dedicating your full attention to one activity at a time, whether it's eating a meal, completing a project, or having a conversation. By reducing distractions and immersing yourself in the present moment, you cultivate a sense of calm and clarity that supports patience. Emotional triggers represent another formidable obstacle. Certain situations, people, or memories can evoke intense emotions like anger, anxiety, or sadness, overwhelming our ability to remain patient. For example, encountering a rude stranger or revisiting a painful past experience might ignite an automatic reaction of defensiveness or withdrawal. To navigate these triggers effectively, it's crucial to develop emotional awareness and regulation skills. Start by identifying your triggers. What specifically sets off impatience or reactivity? Once you recognize these patterns, you can implement strategies to manage them. Deep breathing exercises, visualization techniques, and grounding practices, such as focusing on physical sensations, can help anchor you in the present moment, preventing emotions from spiraling out of control. Over time, this increased self-awareness strengthens your resilience and equanimity. Perfectionism is another insidious challenge that undermines patience. Perfectionists often set impossibly high standards for themselves and others, leading to chronic dissatisfaction and stress. When outcomes fall short of these lofty ideals, impatience and disappointment inevitably follow. To overcome perfectionism, embrace the concept of good enough. Recognize that striving for excellence is admirable, but obsessing over minutiae or demanding flawlessness only creates unnecessary suffering. Allow room for imperfection and experimentation, knowing that mistakes are integral to learning and growth. For example, if you're working on a creative project, resist the urge to endlessly revise or polish every detail. Instead, set reasonable deadlines and celebrate completion as a victory in itself. This shift in mindset reduces pressure and fosters patience. Physical discomfort and fatigue also play a role in diminishing patience. When we're tired, hungry, or unwell, our tolerance for frustration plummets, making us more prone to irritability and impulsive reactions. To mitigate this challenge, prioritize self-care and well-being. Ensure you're getting adequate sleep, nourishing your body with healthy food, staying hydrated, and engaging in regular physical activity. Taking care of your basic needs creates a stable foundation for emotional regulation and patience. Additionally, incorporate relaxation techniques such as yoga, meditation, or progressive muscle relaxation into your routine to alleviate tension and restore balance. Procrastination presents another hurdle, particularly when it comes to tasks that require sustained effort and discipline. Putting off responsibilities until the last minute often leads to rushed, subpar results and heightened stress levels. To combat procrastination, break large tasks into smaller, manageable steps and establish clear deadlines for each stage. Use tools like to-do lists, calendars, or productivity apps to stay organized and accountable. Reward yourself for completing tasks, reinforcing positive habits and motivation. By approaching work incrementally and consistently, you reduce the likelihood of feeling overwhelmed and impatient. Comparison and envy further erode patience by fostering discontentment and dissatisfaction. Social media exacerbates these tendencies, bombarding us with curated images of success, happiness, and achievement. Seeing others seemingly excel while we struggle can trigger feelings of inadequacy and impatience with our own progress. To counteract this challenge, limit exposure to toxic comparisons and focus on your unique journey. Remember that everyone moves at their own pace, and what appears effortless on the surface often involves hidden struggles and sacrifices. Cultivate gratitude for your strengths, accomplishments, and opportunities, recognizing that comparison diminishes joy and stifles growth. By embracing your individual path, you nurture patience and authenticity. Uncertainty and ambiguity represent final yet significant challenges to patience. Life is inherently unpredictable and many situations lack clear answers or solutions. Facing unknowns, whether related to career decisions, health concerns, or future plans, can provoke anxiety and impatience. To navigate uncertainty with grace, practice surrender and faith. Surrender doesn't imply giving up. It means releasing attachment to specific outcomes and trusting in your ability to adapt and thrive regardless of circumstances. Faith, whether spiritual, philosophical, or personal, provides a sense of purpose and direction during turbulent times. Engage in reflective practices like journaling, prayer, or meditation to clarify your values and intentions, anchoring you in stability amidst change. By accepting uncertainty as part of the human experience, you cultivate patience and resilience. As we conclude this exploration of common challenges and how to overcome them, I invite you to reflect on which obstacles resonate most deeply with your own experiences. Do you struggle with self-criticism, external disruptions, or emotional triggers? How might adopting strategies like self-compassion, acceptance, or mindfulness help you navigate these challenges more effectively? And how can you view setbacks not as failures, but as stepping stones toward greater patience and wisdom? These reflections will serve as guideposts, empowering you to persevere on your journey toward cultivating patience. Chapter 10. Long-term benefits of patience. Patience is not merely a virtue to be admired, it's a transformative force that shapes our lives in profound and lasting ways. While the immediate effects of patience, reduce stress, improve relationships, and greater calm are undeniable, its long-term benefits extend far beyond these surface-level advantages. Over time, patience becomes a cornerstone of personal growth, resilience, and fulfillment, influencing every aspect of how we live, interact, and evolve. In this chapter, we'll explore the enduring impact of patience, unveiling how it enriches our lives and empowers us to thrive in an ever-changing world. One of the most significant long-term benefits of patience is the cultivation of emotional resilience. Life is unpredictable, filled with triumphs and trials, joys and sorrows. How we respond to these fluctuations determines our capacity for happiness and well-being. Impatience often amplifies suffering, causing us to resist or fight against circumstances beyond our control. By contrast, patience teaches us to embrace life's ebbs and flows with equanimity, building inner strength and adaptability. For example, consider someone who faces repeated rejections while pursuing their dream career. An impatient mindset might lead them to give up prematurely, interpreting setbacks as failures. A patient approach, however, allows them to persevere, viewing each rejection as feedback rather than defeat. This resilience not only increases their chances of success, but also fosters a sense of self-worth and determination that carries over into other areas of life. Over time, patience enhances our ability to navigate challenges with wisdom and grace. When we practice patience consistently, we develop what psychologists call response flexibility, the ability to pause before reacting, assess situations objectively, and choose thoughtful actions over impulsive ones. This skill becomes increasingly valuable as we encounter more complex and high-stakes scenarios. For instance, imagine a leader managing a team through a crisis. An impatient response might involve micromanaging, blaming others, or rushing to implement quick fixes. A patient leader, however, would gather input from team members, analyze root causes, and devise sustainable solutions. This measured approach not only resolves the issue effectively, but also strengthens trust and morale within the group. Over years of practice, patience transforms us into wise decision makers, capable of handling adversity with poise and clarity. Another enduring benefit of patience is its impact on relationships. While short-term patience improves communication and reduces conflict, long-term patience deepens bonds and fosters lifelong connections. Relationships require ongoing effort, compromise, and understanding, all qualities that patience nurtures. For example, romantic partnerships often face periods of stagnation or disagreement, Couples who practice patience are more likely to weather these storms together, emerging stronger and more committed. Similarly, friendships built on patience endure because they allow room for imperfection, growth, and mutual support. Even professional relationships benefit from patience, as colleagues learn to collaborate harmoniously despite differences in personality or work style. These enduring connections become sources of joy, inspiration, and stability throughout our lives. Patience also plays a pivotal role in achieving meaningful goals. Success rarely happens overnight. It requires sustained effort, persistence, and faith in the process. Impatience undermines this journey by creating unrealistic expectations and fostering disillusionment when progress seems slow. By contrast, patience enables us to stay focused and motivated even when results are delayed. Consider the story of an entrepreneur launching a startup. The initial stages may involve countless setbacks, failed pitches, product iterations, financial struggles, but patience ensures they remain committed to their vision. Over time, their perseverance pays off, leading to innovation, growth, and eventual success. This principle applies universally. Whether you're learning a new skill, pursuing a passion project, or striving for personal development, patience sustains your momentum and amplifies your achievements. On a deeper level, patience contributes to spiritual growth and self-discovery. Many spiritual traditions emphasize the importance of surrendering control and trusting in a higher power, universal order, or natural flow. Patience aligns perfectly with this philosophy, encouraging us to release attachment to outcomes and embrace the unfolding of events. As we practice patience, we cultivate humility, recognizing that we are part of something larger than ourselves. We begin to see challenges as teachers, guiding us toward greater awareness and compassion. This perspective shift enriches our lives, infusing them with purpose and meaning. Over decades of practice, patience becomes less of a conscious effort and more of a natural state of being, a testament to its transformative power. Health and well-being represent another domain where patience yields significant long-term rewards. Chronic impatience has been linked to numerous physical and mental health issues, including hypertension, heart disease, anxiety, and burnout. By cultivating patience, we reduce stress levels, promote relaxation, and enhance overall vitality. For example, individuals who practice mindfulness-based stress reduction, MBSR, report lower blood pressure, improved immune function, and increased longevity. These benefits accumulate over time, contributing to a healthier, happier life. Additionally, patience supports recovery from illnesses and injuries by fostering acceptance and resilience. Whether managing chronic conditions or healing from surgery, patients who approach their journey with patience experience better outcomes and greater satisfaction. Creativity thrives under the influence of patience, particularly in the long term. Creative endeavors demand experimentation, iteration, and refinement, all processes that require time and dedication. Impatience stifles creativity by pressuring us to produce results too quickly, leading to frustration and burnout. Patience, however, creates space for exploration and discovery, allowing ideas to germinate and mature naturally. Artists, writers, musicians, and innovators who practice patience often achieve breakthroughs late in their careers after years of honing their craft. Their willingness to stay committed to their vision inspires others and leaves a lasting legacy. Over time, patience becomes synonymous with mastery, enabling creators to push boundaries and redefine possibilities. In the realm of parenting, patience lays the foundation for lifelong bonds and positive development. Raising children involves navigating countless challenges, from sleepless nights and tantrums to academic struggles and teenage rebellion. Parents who practice patience model essential life skills such as empathy, problem-solving, and perseverance. They create an environment where children feel safe to express themselves, make mistakes, and grow. Over decades, this investment pays dividends, as children raised with patience tend to exhibit higher self-esteem, emotional intelligence, and social competence. Moreover, the parent-child relationship evolves into a source of mutual respect and admiration, bridging generational gaps and fostering unity. Patience also strengthens communities and societies, promoting collective well-being and sustainability. Movements for social justice, environmental conservation, and global peace all require sustained effort and collaboration, qualities that patience fosters. Impatience often leads to division, polarization, and short-sighted solutions, whereas patience encourages dialogue, compromise, and systemic change. Leaders who embody patience inspire others to join their cause, creating ripple effects that transcend individual efforts. For example, grassroots initiatives addressing climate change rely on patient activism, acknowledging that meaningful progress takes time and persistence. Over generations, patience builds resilient communities rooted in compassion, equity, and shared responsibility. Even in moments of solitude, patience reveals its transformative potential. As we age, we inevitably confront existential questions about identity, purpose, and mortality. Patience provides a framework for exploring these inquiries without fear or haste, helping us find peace amidst uncertainty. It reminds us to savor simple pleasures, cherish loved ones, and embrace the beauty of impermanence. Over a lifetime, patience shapes our character, instilling virtues such as gratitude, kindness, and humility. These qualities define us not just as individuals, but as contributors to a greater whole. Finally, patience offers a pathway to lasting happiness and contentment. Unlike fleeting pleasures derived from external achievements or material possessions, true happiness arises from within. It stems from cultivating inner peace, embracing imperfection, and living authentically. Patience accelerates this journey by teaching us to appreciate the present moment, trust the process, and let go of unnecessary attachments. Over time, we realize that happiness is not a destination, but a way of being, a state cultivated through consistent practice and reflection. This realization liberates us from the relentless pursuit of more and invites us to revel in the abundance already present in our lives. As we conclude this exploration of the long-term benefits of patience, I invite you to reflect on how patience has shaped your own life thus far. What milestones have you achieved through perseverance? How have your relationships evolved thanks to patience? And how can you continue nurturing this invaluable quality to unlock its full potential? These reflections will serve as guideposts, reminding you that patience is not just a tool for surviving difficulties, but a catalyst for thriving in all aspects of life. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the art and practice of cultivating patience. Over the past 2 hours, we've explored the essence of patience, its profound benefits, and the myriad ways it can transform our lives. From the teachings of Buddhism to the practical tools of meditation and mindfulness, we've uncovered how patience serves as a foundation for peace, resilience, and fulfillment. Now, as we bring this exploration to a close, I want to leave you with some final thoughts and reflections to carry forward into your daily life. Patience is not a destination, it's a continuous practice. It's something we nurture day by day, moment by moment, through small acts of awareness and compassion. Whether you're navigating traffic, managing relationships, or pursuing personal goals, patience reminds us that every step matters. Progress may sometimes feel slow, but remember, even the smallest shifts create ripples that extend far beyond what we can see. Each time you choose patience over impatience, you're planting seeds of change that will grow over time. One of the most beautiful aspects of patience is its universality. Regardless of age, background, or circumstance, everyone has the capacity to cultivate patience. It doesn't require special equipment, advanced skills, or extraordinary circumstances, just a willingness to show up again and again with an open heart and mind. The techniques we've discussed in this video, mindfulness, breathwork, gratitude, loving kindness meditation, and more, are accessible to all of us right here, right now. They're invitations to connect with yourself and the world around you in deeper, more meaningful ways. As you move forward, I encourage you to approach patience with kindness, not just toward others, but also toward yourself. There will be days when impatience gets the better of you, and that's okay. Growth isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Celebrate your victories, no matter how small, and treat setbacks as opportunities to learn and grow. Every challenge you face is a chance to deepen your understanding of patience and strengthen your resolve to embody it. Remember too that patience is contagious. When you practice patience, you inspire those around you to do the same. Your calm presence in moments of tension can diffuse conflict. Your thoughtful responses can foster connection, and your unwavering commitment can spark hope. In this way, patience becomes not just a personal virtue, but a gift you share with the world. I'd also like to acknowledge the courage it takes to embark on this path. Cultivating patience requires vulnerability, honesty, and a willingness to confront discomfort. It asks us to sit with uncertainty, embrace imperfection, and trust in the unfolding of life. These are not easy tasks, but they are profoundly worthwhile. By choosing patience, you're choosing to live intentionally, authentically, and joyfully. Before we part ways, I invite you to take a moment to reflect on what you've learned today. What insights resonate most deeply with you? How might you integrate these practices and principles into your daily routine? And what would it mean for your life if you committed to prioritizing patience moving forward? Keep these questions alive in your mind and heart as you continue your journey. Finally, thank you for being part of the Mindful Zone. Creating content, this is a labor of love, and knowing that it reaches people who are eager to grow and thrive fills me with immense gratitude. If this video resonated with you, please consider sharing it with others who might benefit from its message. You never know whose life you might touch simply by passing along a tool or insight that inspires them to pause, breathe, and embrace patience. Until next time, may your path be filled with moments of stillness, connection, and grace. May you find strength in challenges, joy in simplicity, and peace in the present moment. And above all, may you trust in the power of patience to guide you toward a life of greater meaning and fulfillment. Thank you for being here, and remember, patience truly is the key to unlocking the beauty of every step along the way. Namaste.